folks, welcome back. This is your old pal Hondo doing a quick review. Well, it's been about a year since I've had this reel and rod combo set up from Lews. This is going to be a pretty quick review on this product that I've been using for about a year now. Now this combo is called the Reactor Speed Stick R30 6:2:1 gear ratio 10 ball bearing reel and rod combo from Reactor from Lews. I'm going to give you what I like about the reel and what I dislike about the reel overall from using it over about a year now. The rod's about 7 foot in length. It is a IM8 blank, which is basically medium moderate, so it's more like a medium heavy. It's in between those two types of heavy fishing. It has a fast tip. What this rod and reel combo has in mind when you're using it is basically plastic baits, chatter baits, Texas rigs, finesse baits, Carolina rigs. You can get away with using it with a Carolina rig. If I had to guess, it's either a 2500 series of fishing reel or maybe a 4000. I'm kind of like in between. I really don't know much about it, but it does have a few features that I like and a few features about the reel I don't like. That's why I dislike Lews reels, because of a few issues that they have. Now, although I have a few issues with the reels, and I will not recommend this combo because I do not like Lews spinning reels, but their bait casters are pretty good, and I've had a few good experiences with their bait casters. But their reels, their spinning reels, not so much. I really don't like their spinning reels. Okay, let's get into a few things about the reel I like and a few things I don't like about the spinning reel right off the bat, and then we'll get into the rod. From using it about a year now. I used it for bass fishing, I've used it for carp fishing, I've used it for cat fishing, I've used it for pan fishing, I've used it for a lot of different types of fishing just to see how it works. River fishing, kayak fishing, bank fishing, and I'll give you what I dislike about it using it over a year now. First off, the reel is a good quality build of reel. It seems like they put the reel together really well. There's nothing loose in the reel when you're reeling it. It feels like a good solid build of the reel. Now, one thing I dislike about the reel right off the bat, which I have a lot of issues with these Lews reels, is these cutouts they put into the reel. Now, using it for a year now, which I've cleaned it, but using it for a year, so much dirt would get trapped inside this reel in between the cutout, and it start making a gritty noise when you reel it, when you crank it in. That's the first dislike I like about the reel. The drag's really well done on this reel. It's got 12-13 pound drag. It's really nice. Plus that, the cutout in between the frame, I guess they do that to cut down on the weight of the reel, but I don't see there's no need for that kind of thing with this reel. The reel is smooth. That's one thing I like about the reel. The handle crank is solid. I like the little round knob, makes it easy to grab the knob and reel it in. Now, one of the major gripes I have with a lot of these Lews reels is the spool. The spools on these are done horribly. I have an issue casting monofilament with this. I haven't tried braid with it yet, but I'm sure braid would probably cut down on the line twists with these type of reels from Lews. These type of spinning reels with Lews. I've used fluoro and I've used monofilament on it so far. The reel's rated for like 6, 8 to 10 pound test. The rod's rated for like 4 to 12 pound test. But with the spool, what I have an issue with the spool is every time you try to cast it with monofilament or even fluorocarbon, you get horrible line twists with this reel. Now, that is a big issue with a spinning reel. It should have like a slanted top of the spool, which is aluminum, and they really don't have a good one like a lot of the Shimano's or the Abu Garcias or Flugers or Mitchell reels. Honestly, this reel, I really don't like the reel, so I kind of pass it off to my buddy. He likes these reels, I don't. I'm more of a Fluger, Abu Garcia kind of guy, Shimano kind of guy. I really don't like this reel at all. It's really smooth though for what it is. It's a very smooth reel with 10 ball bearings, 6:2:1 gear ratio, so you're getting that speed that you need to reel up the line to keep the fish in play, you know, to control the fish so it doesn't throw the hook. And another Lews reel that lets me down, honestly. I've had this for a year. I really don't like it, but other than that, the rod is great though. The rod has the ceramic eye guides, 7 foot long, medium. I think it's a medium. Its power is medium, but I'm thinking the weight, as stiff as it is, I'm thinking it's probably medium moderate. So being a medium moderate rod, it's very good for hook penetration. I've noticed catching a few fish with it, they didn't get away. I got really good powerful hook sets with it. Very good controllability with the rod, controlling the fish to the bank or to the side of my kayak to get it into the kayak so I can unhook the fish and throw it back. Really, with this whole combo, the rod is the best part of this whole combo. It has the rubberized grip and Evo split handle design with the hook keep on it. Really, out of this whole combo, I like the rod more than I like the reel. And honestly, I'm not going to recommend this rod combo setup because of the very fact that the reel has a lot of issues with casting and retrieval. I've had a few issues with the reel with monofilament and fluorocarbon getting a lot of line twist in it, and for me that kills me on this combo. I may pass it along to my buddy. He likes these combos. I think when I first bought this combo, it was like around 75 to 80 bucks. Honestly, if I was to recommend you to get a combo, get yourself a Shimano or anything else but this one, because the reel on this is horrible. I don't like the reel, but the rod is great. I mean, the rod has a really nice molded over foot seat right here, which is good because it won't eat up the graphite foot on the graphite body of the reel. And I know before I say this, I know I'm gonna get a lot of haters saying, oh, you should take a little bit of line off the spool. Well, I've done that, and I've took a lot of line because originally I had 8-pound test on this setup, and I did take about, I don't know, 30 yards of line off of it when I re-spooled it with monofilament and fluorocarbon, and it still gave me a lot of line twists. No matter what I do, every time I buy a Lews reel, I always get that issue with monofilament and fluorocarbon. I haven't tried braid yet, but I'm not really a fan of using braid for finesse fishing with you know, Carolina rigs and Texas rigs and wacky rig setups. Is basically why I bought this combo in the very beginning. But you know, the best part about this combo, I would say, is the rod on it. The rod's really nice. The reel is smooth as all get out, and the reel feels very quality, but the rod itself is not very balanced. And from using it for a couple hours sitting in a kayak, it started hurting my wrist to use this thing. I mean, it does weigh a considerable amount of weight. I'm not sure about the weight on this setup. It's probably about, I don't know, 3/4 pound, maybe a pound, I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not a professional, so I couldn't tell you the weight of this reel, but just from using it for a year, it just hurts my wrist trying to jig or to use a Texas rig or a wacky rig. But you know, it's very controllable though. When you set the hook on a fish with this combo, you could really drive the hook in deep with it and control the fish really well when you're fighting the fish to get them in. It does have a oversized anti-reverse switch, which is really good because a lot of the newer, more modern Flugers and Quantums and all those other reels have really small anti-reverse switches. But like, if I had to rate this combo, and I'm not going to recommend it honestly, because I've had a few issues with this Lews reel, spinning reel. I'm not a fan of the Lews products, especially with their spinning reels, but I do like their bait casters, and their bait casters definitely have surprised me on how good quality builds they are, and how good they perform when you're fishing. But their spinning reels, not so much. But the rod is okay, but it's not really good balance with this reel, and it will feel like you're like, after a few hours of fishing with this combo, it will just really hurt your wrist, and you have to change your hand over all the time, you know, because your hand will get sore and tired from using it. It is ambidextrous, so you can switch the handle crank from right to left, which a lot of the modern reels have that with spinning reels. Okay, I give this a solid 4 stars. It would have almost made it to 5 if this spinning reel didn't have that issue with a lot of line twist, as usual with these Lews reels. They're kind of hit and miss, but it performs okay. But every once in a while you get a lot of line twist, and it just turns me off on this reel. Like I said, I may give it to a friend of mine who likes Lews. I'm not really a fan of Lews reels, spinning reels, so to speak. Okay, folks, if you like this quick review on the Lews Reactor Speed Stick R30 spinning reel combo from Lews, I don't like it. Save your money and maybe buy a Fluger or a Quantum or a Daiwa or a Abu Garcia or anything better than this one, honestly. Like I said, it's hit and miss with these Lews products, and yeah, I won't be recommending it. But other than that, the rod's not the bad part of this combo. This rod works really well, surprisingly well, but the reel's not really balanced with the combo itself. Like I said, I'll give it 4 stars, and that's just being generous. I would have gave it 3, but the quality of the build of the reel and the rod kind of pushed it to 4, and the controllability of the rod when you're setting the hook and actually catching fish instead of losing fish because of flimsier rods. Okay, folks, if you like this review on the Lews Reactor Speed Stick combo, I don't really recommend it, but if you see the rod without the reel, go ahead and buy the rod. The rod's excellent. I think Lews rods are probably some of the best rods I've ever used, but the spinning reels, not so much. Okay, this has been your old pal Hondo from Hillbilly Tactical. You put God first, he puts you first every time. You know what else, YouTube? God loves you, so does Hondo. Peace out.